AI has changed KDP forever. And if you're struggling to sell your books, it's probably because you're playing KDP at the old game. Right? AI has changed it. Anyone can make a book now. So making a book is no longer a valuable skill. It's a harsh truth. The market is flooded with books. Customers have more choice than ever. So your books just sit there on Amazon now. Barely getting seen, barely getting clicks, let alone sales. Now the good news is there's actually 3 things you can do right now in order to get sales on your KDP books. And I'm going to show you what those 3 things are in this video. Okay. By the way, this is the first time I'm meeting. Hello, I'm Jace Perry. I show people how to create their first $1,000 on KDP. If you want to know about that, subscribe for more. Okay, let's get started. If you see me looking down, it's because I've got my phone here. I've got my notes here. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, quick story. This is Debbie. She's in my growth squad. That's not actually Debbie. I didn't get a chance to ask for a photo. But Debbie's in my growth squad, okay? She was doing what most KDP sellers doing. They're like publishing books randomly, different niches, no real strategy, and then kind of crossing your fingers and hoping that something sells. Well, she had books sitting on Amazon for 10 years that weren't selling. And she joined my growth squad. We done a few tweaks. And one of her books that was sitting there for 10 years made a sale immediately. Now, what does this tell you? This is really good news for us people like me and you that actually want to do something, a good book that makes sales. If you think after 10 years, how many books have been piled on top of this book? This book was buried, absolutely buried. We did a few tweaks and it made sales. Now this gives me hope because it doesn't matter how many books are on Amazon, how much AI slop is being uploaded. If you know how to sell a book, you will still make money. Like Debbie, she's made a lot of money now, and I'll go into that in a minute. But just on this point, this brings me to point 1. The first thing we want to do is get an impulse buy. Okay, the old way of doing KDP was you create a book that you're interested in, you could write about something really cool, and you get sales. I know this because I was in it from 2018, and I could do that. But now it's different. Customers are scrolling, their attention spans are shorter. They want to know within seconds what this book's about, what's in it for me, why should I spend my $14 on this book? Okay, so the cover, the title, and the positioning, which is what the customer sees, right, and where it is more important than ever. Okay, books need to kind of get that impulse buy now in order to make a sale. So if you think about it like this, and a lot of self-publishers struggle with this, is the cover and title give you the impulse buy. What's inside the book isn't as important. Okay, and that leads me to my second point. Okay, most KDP sellers are creating books that they want to create. So they're producing, in a way, they're producing a book where they're the customer. What you want to focus on in order to make sales is focus on the customer. More importantly, a customer that is already buying books. AI, people are flooding the market with AI books that have no thought about the customer. So this is good news for us because now the skill is understanding the customer and what types of books they want to buy. You can get good at that skill. You can make a lot of money like Debbie is. And let me show you. Debbie just made her first $1,000. You can see the screenshot here. She made her first $1,000 within 60 days of joining my growth squad because we focused on the customer. Now, Debbie picked a customer she knows really well. I think of it like this. When you produce a book, you want to produce a book that you'd be proud enough to sell to your mum. And it's, as crazy as that sounds, the amount of AI slop on there, if you ask those creators, would you sell that book to your mum? The chances are they would say no. Okay, so think of it like that. You want to treat it like that. That's the route we're going now. We want to understand what the customer wants, give them more of what they want, and give them that value so they end up buying. And that brings me to my third point now, because you could have a book that elicits an impulse buy. You can have a customer that is buying books on Amazon. and you've showed books to them, but that doesn't mean or guarantee that you'll make sales unless you have speed and a way of testing your book. Most KDP sellers, they treat KDP like a hobby, like publish here and there when they feel like it, which is absolutely fine if you want to do it as a hobby. But if you want to make your first $1,000 fast, you have to have a system in place. All right, speed matters, testing matters, getting feedback matters. You can get all the advice from anyone about how to sell your book. You can think you've got the best book, but it doesn't mean nothing until we test it to the market. The market will decide if your book is good enough, and the market is always changing. So it's important to have a system to constantly be testing, and that's what Debbie had there. That's why how she was able to make that money so quickly in 60 days, because the first thing we did was put a system in place so she could test the market fast with her books, get that feedback, real-time feedback, and then tweak the books accordingly, and then your book gets better and better for that customer and is able to get that impulse buy because it's just getting better and better, and that's what gives you the money faster. So those are the 3 things. So to wrap this all up now, the new KDP game is actually very, very simple, because now you just need to find a really good customer. You need to create a book that gets an impulse buy, and then you just need to keep testing more of those books to that one customer, which is actually probably a lot less than what most KDP sellers are doing, because most KDP sellers are focusing on producing a really good book inside, when really you just need to focus on these 3 things. Okay, thanks for watching. If you want more videos on how to create your first $1,000 on KDP, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, remember to like. That'd be great. Thank you. If it was any value, that is. See you in the next video.